So the Hebrew alphabet is how many letters? Close, minus 4. 26 minus 4. 22, there we go. Good guess, though. Okay, it's no problem. I'm not good in math either. 2 plus 2 is 5. But, so we started with the first letter and Aleph, right? Verses 1 through 8. They're all 8 verses long. And then Bet, Gimel, tonight, Dalet. Say Dalet? Dalet. All right. Let's see if we can do them all. Aleph, no, let me do it first. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet. Here we go. Start.
Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet.
Good job. All right. So tonight, verses 25 through 32. And if we will, can we stand as we read God's Word? It's kind of an honor to God. Remember the series, it's called Unshakable, because when we look to God, and when He sets a fire in our soul, and we're serious about obeying Him and His Word, it gets to the point where we're more unshakable and less frazzled. You know what I'm saying? Like spaz Christians. We're more foundation on Him. Our foundation is on Him, and we want to. That's our goal, is to get to being unshakable through Christ. We can't do it in our own power. So the whole series is called Unshakable. If everybody will please stand, please. 25 through 32. My soul sticks to the dust. Revive me according to your word. I have told my ways, and you have answered me. Teach me your statutes. Make me understand the way of your precepts, so I will meditate on your wonders. My soul weeps because of grief. Strengthen me according to your word. Remove the false way from me, and graciously grant me your law. I have chosen the faithful way. I have placed your ordinances before me. I cling to your testimonies. O Lord, do not put me to shame. I shall run the way of your commandments, for you will enlarge my heart. You may be seated. So I think the theme tonight, or the title, if you will, I think the psalmist was praying for understanding. Praying for understanding. And there are things in our life that we need answers to. There are things that we need His help to understand what's before us, how to handle a certain situation, what would be the right way, the truthful way, the honest way, the way that you want us to do that, God. What is it that you want us to do? So there are times, and that's pretty much every day of our life, that we need to look to Him. God, help me understand what you're doing in my life as I walk with you, and help me know how to react to these things. Help me know how to worship you through how I react to these things. Everyday life. Understanding for prayer. All right. So the first time he says, again, my soul, some versions say cleaves to the dust, sticks to the dust. My soul, not my body, my soul. All right. My soul sticks to the dust, revives me according to your word. So if you see the manner of where he may be coming from, that first phrase kind of puts it in tone here. My soul cleaves to the dust. Does that kind of have a picture? He's not happy, he's not joyful, right? Kind of a picture of brokenness. It's a picture of brokenness. In our Christian walk, obviously, before we met Christ, I know in my life, I hit rock bottom. And they are way noisy. Can somebody go check on that? I have no idea why they're in there. But before you're saved, Jesus gives you understanding you need Him. And you've heard the phrases, you've heard people when they say testimony, I hit a rock bottom. I had to look up. That's a true statement within our soul. God shows us that we're in need of Him as sinners. And we make ourselves low. We call on Him as our Lord and Savior. But in our Christian life, sometimes we're so pleading with Him that our soul clings to the dust. We're low. We're down. We're needing revival in our hearts. And there's almost a picture of Him maybe broken, prostrate, like laying on the ground. And he's, my soul, God. And he's turned to God. And here's the deal. Whatever you're going through that you may consider is hard for you, or low for you, a low time in your life, you can do nothing better than turn to the Lord and give it to Him. So it's almost like that first phrase, there's no hope. You can't get lower than the dust. Oh, and as a matter of fact, when I was reading this and studying this, I remembered You know how we were created? You know how God created us and breathed life into us? How we were created? The dust of the ground, right? And then he breathed life into us. The psalmist, lo, broken, my soul sticks to the death, to the dust. You would think, after hearing him through this verse, this whole chapter, that man, he loves God. He understands what it means to take in his word, God's word. You would think he would be soaring, right? You think he would be victorious in his life. You think he would be like, so to speak, on cloud nine spiritually, where, there's never problems, there's never... Now listen, I want you to understand something. Please listen to me. Because I almost had this idea in my mind as a kid. Because that's the way it's portrayed by the people I heard teach the word, some of my parents. That if you're a Christian, and even if they say these words, it appeared to me that what they were saying when they were teaching is when you accept Christ, there's no more worries. You're good to go. It's all a life of victorious, no problems. God will take care of you. Nothing will happen. The only problem with that is that's a lie. Even in Christ, listen, read through the Bible. This is a statement I cringe when I hear it, and if I have opportunity, I correct it. Have you ever heard this statement? And hear me out, please hear me out, because we've been taught this false teaching. God won't put on you too much that you can't handle. I personally don't believe that from the Bible, because ask Job about that. I think God puts too much on us sometimes so that we learn to lean more on him. We learn to look to him. When we are literally on the ground and our souls are in the dust, and you're saying with your life, God, this is too much, but I know you are God and I'm not. And I look to you. I look to you, God. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go from here. But I know I can turn to you and to your word. And the next phrase says, and your word revive me. It's almost a picture of he understood that Jesus is the only one who can handle this. And listen, there are some things in our life that we think, I can't handle this. Life's hard. It's real. Don't sugarcoat it. Listen, God is there for us, and he is our rock. Psalm 46:1 says, the Lord is my refuge and my strength, my very present help in time of need. I want you to remember that verse. Let it sink in your heart. Psalm 46:1. You need to know that. But there are times when it's hard. Whatever it may be. With adults, you know what I mean. With students, it could be this. You're healthy. You're doing great. God's using you. You're an athlete. And all of a sudden, something goes wrong with you physically. And you're asking, and that crushes your world. I get it. I understand. You think, what's going on here? Hard stuff, family stuff, dysfunctional stuff, sinful stuff, life. Why am I being treated like this? Understand, life's sometimes hard. Life is hard. But know this, you can run to Jesus. You can run to Jesus. He's always there. In the midst of it caving in around us, Jesus will put us on a strong foundation. Look at what the psalmist says. He says, my soul cleaves to the dust. I am down. I am to the point of depression. I need answers. Where does he turn? Notice where he turns. The next phrase. Revive me according to your word. That's where he turns. That's where he turns. The correct place to turn. To Jesus and his word. Medicine for our soul. Strength for our weaknesses. Light for our darkness. Oh, and by the way, let me get back to that. I feel like, and you may think I'm wrong, but if you are, you can approach me afterwards and I'll talk to you. But when I said, and I mean it, if you read Job and you read other situations in the Word, I do think God puts too much on us sometimes that we don't think we can handle it, so we can depend upon him. And the verse people always use is 1 Corinthians 10:13. No temptation has overtaken us. The word overtaken means it's going to be pretty rough. But he gives us a way of escape through him. So here's the deal. The good news is this. Jesus never lies and he never fails us. The good news is this. We can have joy in the midst of hard stuff, like our souls cleaving to the dust, sticking to the dust. Because in those moments, Christ, if we're looking at him, he's right there. He's lovingly over us. And he wants to love us. And he wants to nurture us. And he wants us to know that we can keep going in him, no matter what. Is it easy? Not always. Is it questionable in your mind sometimes? Maybe. But heart worship to Christ can bring you through things you never thought you could go through. And this is why God wants us to go through those times. So that through him, we can use it to exalt him and help others. My soul sticks to the dust. Revive me. The word revive means to renew, to restore, to bring back life, not to get resaved. If you know Jesus, there's times that we need revival. When I was a kid growing up in Memphis, we had these things, we had revival meetings. And what that was, and we don't have those anymore that I know of. Revival is this. Our church will bring in a guest speaker and maybe some guest musicians. And it wasn't like with the march worship that he does. It was more like the hymnal and the song minister he's doing like this, first, second, third verses. And the preacher would preach, and we'd have it all week. We have it all week. And there'd be times of decision, all that. Revival. What it was for, the pastors told us, that there's times in our Christian walk where we just need to take inventory, to check our Christian walk, and we need revival. Not re-salvation, not re-saved, but knowing Christ. Sometimes you need some new life in you. Sometimes you need to understand that we need to get alive more for Christ. Renew, restore our life. He realized that God's word is sufficient for his needs. Yeah, he's sufficient for all things. I don't know, some of you may be going through some things tonight. You may come in with a heavy heart. Let God's word encourage you. Turn to him. Let him revive your soul. Let him awaken you to understand that he loves you and he wants you to understand that he is there always. He's there always. He'll never leave us. He'll never forsake us. That is a truth that we can cling to. That is a truth in the Word of God that we can claim in his name. He understood the providence of God, the sovereignty of God, the grace of God that affects his life, the cure for hardness of heart, maybe. When you go through hard times, it can do one or two things. It can make you better for Christ, or it can make you bitter for Christ. Life happens. As a result of the fall, life happens. But we have life in us if we know Jesus. And the goal, and Jesus loves us so much, he wants us to get more in love with him. And not focus on the things that can hurt us, not focus on the things that can get us down, but focus on him. That's verse 25. So how can we apply this to our life? Verse 25. When we find ourselves in the midst of needing answers, when we find ourselves maybe in our Christian life, we're dull. What I mean by that is we're not reading the Word, we're not praying, there's no passion for Jesus anymore. In those times, we need to turn to him and put an eye on him in God's Word for restoration in our hearts. We need to constantly make sure that we're going closer to Christ and not closer to ourselves in the world. We need to make sure that we're one with him in fellowship and loving him and loving others. God's Word can be and should be our guide. And our plea for help should be his Word. Listen, I consider you young adults. I mean, literally, if you were Jewish 12-year-old guys, you would be considered a man. I know that's kind of strange. But one day, sooner you can even imagine or think, one day you will be full-out ladies and men. And here's my challenge to you. Well, here's my statement than my challenge. My statement is, God is awesome. Jesus is incredible. A relationship with Jesus is amazing. Life gets no easier with what you have to do, your priorities, what you have to do, all you have to do in life in a day's time. It gets no easier, it gets busier. So, right now, my encouragement to you is to make sure you pattern your life to love Jesus and to love His Word. If you love Jesus, you're going to love His Word. And if you spend time with His Word, you're going to love Jesus more. And He says you love Him, you're going to spend more time with Him. It's just an incredible, awesome, incredible process in your life. My challenge is this. Don't take lightly God's Word. God's Word. The focus is on Him. The focus is on Jesus. Put Him at the focus of your life. Let Him call the shots in your life. Worship Him. Don't be ashamed of Him. Live for Him. Be a loving student of God's Word because you love God. Not for knowledge alone. For God's wisdom in your life. The psalmist says, my soul cleaves to the dust. But then it's almost like a light bulb moment. But wait a minute. I don't have to stay here. Revive me, O God, according to your word. And he keeps going. I have told of my ways, and you have answered me. Verse 26. Teach me your statutes. Remember, statutes, laws, precepts, all words for the Bible. All words for His word. Does that make sense? It's meaning the Bible. I have told my ways. What does he mean there? I have told my ways. He was open and honest with his heart before God. Reality is, Jesus knows our hearts anyway, right? He knows our thoughts before we think it. That's scary. He knows our actions before we act them. He knows everything. So he already knows our hearts. But there's something to be said about us just being honest before God and just admitting righteously, good, bad, and different before God. Just being honest before Him. When you accept Christ, you repent, right? You turn from. What literally means you confess before God your sins. You're just agreeing with God what He already knows. The psalmist says, I told of my ways. God, I open my heart up. And I'm honest. I'm just an open book before you, God, because you know me anyway. At the end result, knowing that He loves us and wants what's best for us. That's our God. That's our loving God. That's our loving God. He knows everything about us. You know, when I was growing up, I thought that about my parents. I thought, how in the world did they know some of the things they knew? I thought my earthly parents, I have no idea how you do that. I don't know how you do that. It's just like they knew. Moms can read, don't sell short of mom's intuition. I think God gives them that. They know a lot, and dads too. Wisdom from God. Hey, listen, I'm not trying to be rude. Can you turn that light down? I feel like Saul on the road to Damascus. I'm blind. I can't see anything, man. Scales are on my eyes. If you don't mind, turn that down. Or lighten it up a little bit. Thank you. Perfect. All right. One time, before I was a Christian, I had a 73 Nova. It was a tank. Steel bumper, 100 green. It was ugly. 73 Nova. I started driving when I was in 1986. 73 Nova, right? No power steering, no power brakes, no air conditioning. Had a hole in the floorboard. I remember driving that thing like rocks would fly through the I loved it, man. It was the car I had, you know. But I remember one time I wasn't really. I didn't mean to do this, but I had taken a friend home, and I turned the corner. I was looking down to change the radio, and I looked down too long, and I hit this telephone pole. And it didn't have wires to it, it was this telephone pole. I knocked the telephone pole down. I ran over a big green garbage can. This is just a story about how I think God engraves your parents' wisdom. This is before I knew Jesus. I kept driving because I was scared. Don't do that, by the way. If you have an accident, stop, report it, do what's right, have integrity, okay? Anyway, so The next couple of days, my parents were talking, and they're like, "So, Steve, what'd you do?" It was like a Saturday night. What'd you do Saturday night? Oh, me and Ron went out. My buddy Ron Stewart went out, and I took him home, and, oh, okay. Well, there was like some little smudge on your bumper. What was that about? What do you mean? I was like, whoop, I'm in trouble. I'm thinking, you ever been that moment where your parents are like, I know you did that? And they're like, well, you just admit it, and you're like, I didn't know I did that. So I was scot-free. Anyway, they knew. They had been out walking that afternoon. They saw a telephone pole down with a crunched-in garbage can, and then they walked by the car I had, the bomb, 73 Nova, and they saw little scraps, and they put two and two together. And God gives them that. Parents know things. Parents know things. And I think God gives them that. I think God gives them that for our safety, but for our wisdom to learn things. So here's my lesson to you. Do what's right before God and tell the truth. Be honest. Because here's the thing. Ultimately, even though my parents God put before me, and I'm so thankful for them, here's the thing. Ultimately, we answer to the Lord, don't we? And so the psalmist is saying, he's giving us a picture. Just admit to God, hey, listen, when you're wrong, when you sin before Him, but also just share your heart. Like if you feel confused, if you feel angry, hey, listen, we all get angry. Talk to God about it. Like, hey, God, I don't know why I'm feeling this, but I am. Help me with this. Help me understand why I'm feeling this before I get red and my neck pops off and I make a really bad witness of myself. Just talk to God. That's what He's saying. He's saying, don't get to the point where you hold everything in and God knows anyway. He's here to help you. It's not about feeling bad or guilty. It's about just relationship with Him. That's what the Christian life is. It's about a relationship with Jesus. And He's saying, God, I've told you my ways. I've told you good, bad, and different. I realize you know that anyway, but you're my Lord, and so I just want to fellowship with you. And then He goes on to say this, and you have answered me. Teach me your statutes. And you have answered me. So He gives instruction to us. He gives direction to us. The best direction. Through His Word. Through relationship with Him. You have to excuse me. I'm really seeing dots. Pray for me because that light it really did affect on me. I'm serious counting to see. Beg your pardon? I'm not going to fall out or anything. I don't think. But the psalmist understood that God was the best source of instruction. He's the best source of instruction. Everybody, all of us in this room, no matter how old, no matter how smart, no matter how long we've been a Christian, we need constant instruction. We need to beg God for that so that we can be a witness for Him, so that we go through that moment glorifying Him, walking with Him, living in Him, doing what He asks us to do. And in verse 27, make me understand the way of your precepts, so I'll meditate on your wonders. I love that. He's not bossing God around. What He's saying is, I really want to understand you and your word. I really do. So that you can live through me. When we're reading the Bible, some of this is pretty difficult. Some of it, I know a lot of times when we meet at Chick-fil-A, we'll read a passage and we're like, look, that was wordy. That was a lot of words. That was really wordy. We had one like that a couple weeks ago. We're like, whoa. And we just kind of broke it down and asked God for wisdom. But you can, and as you read the Word, God gives you understanding. Make me understand the way of your teachings, God. Listen, so why? So that I will walk off and forget them? So I'll never apply them in my life? No. So this is what the psalmist says. So I will meditate on your wonders. Remember verse 18? Open my eyes. Remember Garrett? Open my eyes. Remember that? Parker? Sorry. Open my eyes so I may see wonders. Remember that? You remember that verse? Yeah. Open my eyes. He says, so I will meditate on your wonders. Meditate. Meditate means to think deeply about something. Meditate. To meditate. Do you ever think like constant on something? Like you're focused in. You ever done that where something has caught your mind and brain and you're focused? If someone tries to ask you a question, you're like, you don't even hear them. A lot of them would say husbands do that. But, I mean, you're meditating. You're thinking through hardcore, and you're just on it. You're focused. That's what the psalmist is saying about the Word of God. We should meditate on it. It's not, don't do a speed read. You don't speed read through the Bible. Take a verse, a word at a time, a phrase at a time, and think deeply on that. God can use it in your life as He used it in the psalmist's life. Meditate on your wonders. Listen, are you amazed at God? Is He a God of wonder? Look at me. Even through creation, God is a God of wonder. Last night, I went outside we took our garbage on Wednesday, so me and John Thomas do the garbage together. I know that's weird. I'm just trying to teach him some responsibility. Actually, he does it. I just walk out with him because he's afraid somebody will get him. No, I'm just kidding. No, really, it's funny. There's teenagers sometimes that go across the street like that. Somebody's like, Dad, there's some teenagers over there. What's John Thomas? Teenagers aren't all evil. It's okay. But we look up and we see the stars. I love looking at stars. Listen, that just didn't happen. Our God, a God of amazement and a God of wonder, put those in the sky. And they stay up there. Now, I know we have fallen stars. I get that. But they stay up there. And He knows them by name. It says in the song. He knows, 143 verse 3. He knows them by name. That's a God of wonder. Do you know all the stars by name? Do you know how many stars there are? Don't even try to guess because you don't know. That's a God of wonder. Listen, how He puts our bodies together. Look here. Jackson, J. I said it for a minute. Look at this specimen of a young man right here. That is a holy temple right there, Jack. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So, you want to keep still? This is a God of wonder. Look how He fashioned His shoulders, His broad, manly shoulders. Right? He gave Him elbows so He can bend His arm. He gave Him fingers so He can wave, so He can eat, so He can not pick His nose. Don't say that. Throw a football. Read the Bible. Hold the Bible. He gives Him an eye so He can see. Eyeballs. Pupils. He gives Him ears. Really cool looking ears. He knows the number of hair on His head. Feet. Not just feet, but toes. Can you imagine no toes? You'd be walking funny, Jack. You'd be like... He gives Him toes. I know that's weird. He gives Him toes. Knees. Inward. Organs. Heart. Lungs. Those are important. Brain. Jackson's got a great brain. Listen, I'm making a point here. Everybody has those qualities. You said, how many, Jackson? That's a God of wonder. Name one other person that even remotely people call a God that can do that. He's a God of wonder. You read the Word. He really does what He says He did in the Word. When He says Jonah got swallowed by a big fish, yes, a big fish. It doesn't say a whale. It could have been a whale, but it could have been a big catfish or a bass. It could have been a piranha. Whatever it was. God did allow the fish to swallow Jonah like that. And then Jonah repented, and he got seaweed, all that, out the big fish. That's a God of wonder. That's a God of wonder. You read through the Word, that's a God of wonder. A God of miracles. A God that loves us. A God of wonder. Do you ever wonder? I do. Knowing who I was as a sinner. The God of wonder sent His Son to die for us. That's a God of wonder. A God of wonder who right now, the Bible says positionally, He is at the right hand of God, Romans 8:34. And He is interceding on our behalf. God of wonder. God of wonder. Man, we should be caught up in that every day of our life. Listen, when people talk about, whoa, look at that, science proves it. No, it's a God of wonders who proves it. It's a God of wonder. I'm amazed at what God. That's why I like God. That's why I like worship with Jesus. You can't figure out. He's above and beyond our thoughts. It amazes me. It's like there's planets. I learned them all in school. I don't forget them all. I know Earth. There are other planets. God did that. There may be people on it, I don't know. There may not be people, but He did that. God, you ever been to the beach? I'm talking about real beach, not the opposite, that's mud. I'm talking about like Florida with real sand, like the sand you pick up with your hands that the God of wonders gave you, and let it just fall through. Because you don't want to get anywhere else in your body because it's gross. But you're okay with the finger thing. So you feel the sand, and you look at the blue water, and you look at the dolphins. You go deep sea fish, you see flying fish. They fly. Anyway, It's a God of wonder. It's a God of wonder. Listen, the parents that you have, that you know that love you and nurture you. Some of your parents nurture you spiritually. God of wonder. Why would God give me those parents? God of wonder. To put you on the street you're at, to put you in the school you're at, to put you in a job you're at, to put you where you, how you look. Oh, God of wonder. God of wonder. Create us in His image. God of wonder. Be amazed at who God is. I love that we serve a God that we fully can't understand, we fully can't comprehend, we fully can't. We're just wild by it. We're just wild by it and thankful for the grace He gives us and His love and mercy. God of wonder. To think deeply on those things. Listen, you'll find it very hard to complain about things that really don't matter when you focus on that. And we have to get back to God. I've told you my ways. I know I need to get refocused. I know I need to meditate on your wonders. That person just cut in front of me and I'm really mad right now. I want to race up to him and bump him. Not really. I'm just using an example. God, focus me on your wonders. Now, don't be driving and look at the stars. That's kind of dangerous if you're driving. But God's wonders. Focus me back. Listen to 28. It builds. My soul, remember? At first, 25, my soul cleaves to the dust. Then he gets later on down and he says, my soul weeps because of grief. So here's why his soul was low to the ground. Because literally the text is saying a grief that is over sin in his life. He is repenting. He is saying, God, I don't want this to overtake me. I want you to overtake me. I want to be, yes, I will say it, intoxicated with your love. Not alcohol. I want to be intoxicated with your love, God. Overwhelmed by your love. That's what I want to be. My soul weeps because of grief. God, I'm sorry that I sinned against you. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. And I'm telling you, I do not want sin to take hold of me. I do not want to be callous about sin. My soul weeps because of my grief. Strengthen me according to your word. A God of wonder. Here it is. When you know Jesus, here it is. There's a promise in the Bible, 1 John 1:9, that when we go to God and we're sorry and we're grieving that we sinned against Him, He says this. I've said this 100 times. If we confess our sin, He is faithful and just to forgive us of our sin and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. In Psalm 51:17, what God really desires, what He really wants, is a broken and contrite heart. In the original language, contrite means broken and crushed. That's this God. That's where He's at. And that's where I should be. And that's where we should be over our sin. Crushed and broken. Because of what He did for us. Strengthen me according to your word. Realizing who you are, God. And realizing that I did sin. I admit it. You know it. I'm sorry, God. Forgive me. And strengthen me to do that. So that it doesn't overtake me and become a lifestyle. It doesn't overtake me. I don't desire to do it anymore. Strengthen me. For those who have never accepted Christ, listen to the wonder of God. That He loves you so much. It's amazing that He wants to forgive you of your sin and come into your life. It amazed me. I'm still amazed at age 16 that God will want to save me, that He will want to redeem me, that He will want to bring me back to the rightful place where He desired for creating me. It's to know Him in a personal relationship. If you don't know Christ tonight, Jesus loves you so much. And I pray that God would show you that He can forgive you of your sin, that He can love you and come into your life, and you can know Him in a personal relationship. Meditate on His wonders. My soul weeps because of grief. My soul, not my eyes, not my outward being, it's my inward being. My soul, my inward being. I'm broken, God. Strengthen me according to your word. Then he says this, he keeps going. Remove the false way from me, and graciously grant me your law. Graciously grant me your word. Graciously grant me your will in my life. I want to obey you, God. I don't, again, remove this false way. Get it out. I don't want it. I don't want my thought pattern to be that. I don't want my actions to be that. I don't want my attitude to be that. I want to be more like you, Christ. Work in me. I'm a work in progress, God. I realize that. But work in me. Remove that false way. Anything false, anything that goes contrary against you and your holiness and your word, remove it from me. Remove it from me. And in our hearts, we have to believe he can. Listen, a lot of times in my life, I don't receive the victory I can get. I really don't believe what God says. I'm just being real here. There are some things that you read, you just kind of, you hear out your life, yeah, okay, it's a reality. We can stand on that, on his strength, his word. We can stand on who he is. His word is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He's faithful. Remove the false way from me and graciously grant me your law. You see what he's doing? He's showing ownership in his relationship to Jesus Christ. What does he say in 30? I have chosen the faithful way. Shows action. Verb. Chosen. I have chosen, I'm going your way. Action. I have chosen the faithful way. I have looked to you. I am directing my heart, my eyes, my life to you, Jesus Christ. I have chosen the faithful way. I have placed your teachings, your ordinances before me. Psalm 119, 105. Your word is a lamp unto my and a light unto my. That's what he's doing. I have placed your word before me. I have chosen to look to you. And I want to walk in you. Listen to what he says in 31. I have chosen. He's made the effort. He's placed. He's done what he's asked to do. He's done what God is expecting us to do. I cling to your testimonies. Cling. I don't know why when I see the word cling, I always immediately think of a young child who clings to their parents. Like if they're shy or they're in a store or they're in a strange place, you know how they just cling to them. They hug them in the legs. They reach up like, take me. And, they want to cling. They want to be close to their parent. They don't want anybody to interrupt that. They cling. We're God's children. We're God's children. And the psalmist is reminding us we need to cling to Christ. And we need to cling to his word. Cling to it. Stay there. Don't move. Stay in it. Love him more. Read his word. Study his word. Worship him. I cling to your testimonies, O Lord. Do not put me to shame. The answer is he knew that God would never put us to shame. In the Lord's Prayer, I told you a couple weeks back, I've been praying through that. And at the end of that, we'll just go through it. At the end of that, it says, and lead me not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Okay. I got to thinking through that process, that phrase. And lead me not into temptation. I got to thinking, I'm a simple-minded person. Jesus wouldn't want to lead me into temptation. He wouldn't want me to. I know we're tempted by the enemy. I know he tempts us to make us strong, but on an ongoing process, he wouldn't want to do anything that would hurt us. And so I got thinking more about that. Lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. He don't want us to be around evil. And then I thought about promises, our precepts in the Bible. I thought about principles to add to your Christian life to apply. And I thought about Galatians 5:16, where it says, walk in the Spirit, and you will not fulfill the desires of the flesh. That's what it means. He's saying, I know you won't put me to shame. I'm going to keep my eyes on you. Deliver me from evil. Do not lead me into temptation. I want to walk in the Spirit, so Romans 13:14. Put on the Lord Jesus Christ and give no regard to the flesh in regards to his lust. Don't even give regard to it. Christ in you. I'm not ashamed. Then he goes on. I shall run the way of your commandments. I shall run. Run to what's right. Run to what's glorious. Run to what's your word and righteousness to you. Run. Run to it. That's what he did for us in our sin. He ran to us. He showed us we were sinners, and he showed us that we could be in him. Run the way of his word. When you're out there, when you face temptation, when you face a decision to make, whatever it may be, an attitude, a reaction, whatever it is, run to the word. Run to Jesus. What does he say about that? Immediately, before your emotions take over, before your anger takes over, what does God's word say about it? Run to it. Run to Jesus. Run his passionate precepts. And then he says, for you will enlarge my heart. Now, medically speaking, if you tell a doctor, hey, I got a large heart, that's not a good thing. But spiritually speaking, God can enlarge our heart. He wants to enlarge our heart. He wants us to be more focused on who He is. And He wants us to run the race so that we can have His joy and unspeakable glory in our life. Run the race. Hebrews 12. You guys all know these verses. Hebrews 12, 1 and 2. Talks about run the race effectively. Laying aside every sin and weight that easily entangles you. Right? Set your eyes on the prize. Run the race. Since we have so great a cloud of witnesses, referring to chapter 11, the hall of faith. Enlarge our heart, God. Enlarge our heart for you, God. Enlarge our heart for your will in our life. Enlarge our heart to do what you want us to do. Enlarge our heart for people, God. For people. To know you and to make you known. Enlarge our heart to love you with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, our neighbors, ourselves. Enlarge our heart to be discipled in your word on the wall over there. So we are developed in a personal and obedient lifelong relationship with you, Jesus Christ, in which you transform our character into Christ's likeness. And you change our values into kingdom values. And involves us in your mission at home, in the church, in the world. Enlarge our hearts. Father God, thank you so much for your word. Thank you for the passion of whoever wrote this song and the inspiration of the Holy Spirit. God, I pray that you are honored tonight. I pray that you speak to hearts and people will just be obedient to do what you ask them to do. You're an amazing Lord. In Jesus' name. Love you guys.